Okay. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well, and it is time for our weekly track roundup, where I go over what I felt were the best and the worst tracks of the week. You know what it is. All right, we have quite a few tracks to go over in this episode, so let's not waste any time shouting out our sponsor for this video, the good people over at The Ridge. You can see me in the reflection of this Ridge wallet. They make these awesome, amazing, fantastic little metal-plated minimalist wallets that fit nicely in your front pocket. I love this sort of like chrome finish. You can get that and see other designs as well. When you hit up the link down below, use promo code MELON, get 10% off. You know what it is. Also down there in the description box, a link to our Turntable Lab page. We get kickback from that when you use that to get some vinyl or some turntable stuff. And of course, our Patreon page as well, where for a very cheap monthly tier, you can get some bonus content, access to our Discord, and see some awesome monthly classic album live streams. Check it out. Hit up the page. Check it out. All right. Worst tracks of the week. We have a few. Let's start. Ba-bam. Will Butler keeps dropping monstrously weak solo material. The second song to come out of this forthcoming album, Close My Eyes, vocally weak. The tune isn't all that great either. I just feel like we're just not getting Butler's best out of this solo stuff. This new record is not shaping up to be all that great in my opinion, but maybe the deep cuts will be amazing. I don't know. I suppose we'll see. Then from there, Rich Brian has come through with a new song, Don't Care, following up that Love in My Pocket track. I can't quite remember. It was terrible, but I feel like with this second track, or second recent track, he's really solidifying himself in the pop lane. Don't know exactly how successful he'll be pushing himself and pushing his sound in this direction. Certainly it's showing that he's pretty versatile as an artist for him to go at least this far into it. And of course, there are elements of hip-hop woven into what's going on with this track. I mean, I would say probably more so than with Pocket, but those sung lead vocals, especially on the hook of this track, are a little tough to swallow and really could have used some work. Moving on from there, we have Pharrell Williams and Jay-Z, Entrepreneur. Horrible, in a word. Horrible. Easily one of the worst tracks I've heard in the past few months. Let's just start with the beat. I mean, the instrumental is awful. Starts off okay. Sounds like a bouncy, somewhat weird, eclectic Williams type beat. But then he, I guess, clutters it up with all these weird sound effects. I mean, even a sound of what sounds like a Rick Ross going, woo. And then this weird vocal snippet of some, I don't know, old-timey dude saying some, if you don't like it, you go. Shit, like, it's such a mess of an instrumental. It's such a fucking mess. Like, I can't even begin to describe how much of a clusterfuck this instrumental is. And which is crazy because Pharrell's instrumentals are usually very less is more and tastefully put together, but that is not the case at all with this. And the various transitions that occur across the track are kind of botched as well. Like, because the beat is so cluttered and so messy, as we segue from one section to the next, it doesn't really make sense. Like, we have no build, no tension, no nothing. Even when Jay-Z eventually pops into the song, it's almost like he's just there at random. Like, there was absolutely no tease toward his verse starting at all. It's like it just began at some randomly generated point in time on the beat. Also, the whispered raps, the whispered raps weren't really all that appealing either. Just a horrendous track, and I don't know, topically maybe a little tone deaf for this point in time, and philosophically, like, are we really going to assume that in a way capitalism is going to just totally create an upheaval in terms of the racial inequality in this country. I mean, we're living in a fucking pipe dream if that's the case, but it's a socio-political conversation that we don't need to have right now. But yeah, I mean, regardless of the meaning or the message of the track, I mean, some of the J lines didn't even sound too bad, but Jay was very much competing with how messy this goddamn beat was. Just awful instrumental, and it just kind of starts and ends there as far as my most major issues with the track. Moving on from there, Napalm Death, Amoral, new song over here where it sounds like they're kind of working with some cheesy hard rock riffs or something, but making them a little bit heavier. And I don't think this experiment works out all too well in my view. Then from there, Katy Perry has a new track out. She's really teasing the hell out of this new record of hers. What Makes a Woman is the name of this one. Kind of starts out like an acoustic cut, sort of like she was I don't know, reading a lot into Taylor's folklore. I mean, for sure this track has been recorded for months, but it's got a bit of a folklore vibe to it, you know, in the wake of folklore. Your mind is going to kind of go there. But then like this driving dance beat comes in, and I don't know, it's just kind of a cheesy song. Just really a painfully cheesy song. And the instrumental aesthetics are all over the fucking place, and there's just very little in the way of, I guess, harmony in that department. We also have this new track from Internet Money. Man, that song they dropped not too long ago with Gunna and Nav and Don Toliver was hot as fuck. And it was hot shit. It was hot shit. And now this new one over here with Future, as well as Swae Lee, is a cold fart. I just do not know how we got from one place to the next. Instrumental is rough. Swae is boring as hell. And this Future feature is erratic and quite obnoxious. Not fucking with this at all, sadly. Then from there, holy mackerel. This new song from Dirty Projectors. They've been on quite a run with this new batch of EPs, this EP series that they have been on. And this new track over here, while I don't think the tune is bad, I think there's a lot of heart in this song. David Longstreth really writes himself out of his vocal range on this one, and the vocal performance just really, really, really suffers as a result of it. With a vocal redo, I think this track could be a lot better, but as it currently stands, it's just kind of a non-starter. Let's move on to the tracks that I thought were kind of meh, not too blown away by them, but still thought that they would be worth mentioning. We have this new Fortet remix of Is It True, Tame Impala. Some cool progressions and builds on this. It's got a nice wavy sound to it, some very light, polite driving dance beats. It's cool. We also have More Mother, coming through with something very lyrical, very abstract, very dark, very strange. If you're into artists like Shabazz Palaces, you will fuck with this most definitely. We also had this new massive crossover between Stormzy, Headie 1, and AJ Tracey. Ain't It Different? Loved what vocally and lyrically all three of these dudes brought to this track. I just thought instrumentally it could have been a lot better. Like hi-hats were totally out of whack. Everything beyond that point, while it did hit kind of hard, simultaneously, it just kind of sounds like a very generic trap instrumental. I don't know. Again, not crazy about the beat, but vocally and lyrically, I think all these guys were on fire. So it does kind of make up for it. We also have this track over here from Dizzee, Rascal, back with a banger, a brand new single, L.L.L. featuring Chip. Beat went, hook wasn't all that bad. Just the verses were not some of Dizzy's best writing, and there were some kind of cringe bars like in the mix. So I don't know. If you're a big Dizzee fan, big grime fan, and you want to hear something hard hitting, and you're not going to pay too much attention to what's being said, give it a shot. We also have this new track from BTS as well, which I think is a quality, classy, just very straightforward piece of dance pop. My biggest issue as I went back to it and listened to it more times, aesthetically, it's just a little like too slick, too clean, a little too generic. But I do like that the group can do a dance pop cut with a somewhat light disco flair to it, and have some cool vocal runs on it. A little too heavy on the auto-tune at points, but still admirable cut from BTS for sure. Rest Up, brand new track from YouTube Algorithm Core. project, Boy Pablo. And I don't think it's too bad. I think it's certainly better than a lot of the very, very, very Mac DeMarco influenced stuff that Boy Pablo blew up with. It's kind of a tongue twister, but and not to say that influence is totally gone, but I think what's happening here with this track, it's very sparkly, it's shimmering, it's pretty, it's relaxing. I think if you're heavy into, I don't know, some, I guess, Dominic Fike or maybe some Rex Orange County, something like that, you know, the sad bedroom pop boy kind of scene, I think you'll vibe with this. You know, he's definitely on a somewhat different energy this time around. I'll say that. We also have this brand new track over here from YouTuber, musical mind extraordinaire Andrew Huang, Sparkle Mountain. There are a lot of elements of this track that kick absolute ass. It is a insane pop rager. If Andrew Huang had to do a blaring, distorted, somewhat weirdo pop track that almost could appeal to 100 Gex fans, but still be able to, I don't know, make it with a normie pop audience, and I suppose you know, not leave them feeling like they're hearing something too weird. Yeah, it's hard to describe the boundary that Andrew is straddling on this track. You know, there are elements of it that are so grating to me, it's hard for me to get into it. But simultaneously, I do admire that it is so sweet, it is so accessible, it is so catchy, and yet it feels like so many elements of it are turned up to 11 too. Like he's really trying to go hard as hell in terms of it sounding so sugary, so blaring, so in your face, and it's an exhilarating energy. I can't deny that. You know, even though there are elements of the song I don't love, it is an exhilarating experience to listen to this single. Moving on from there, we have the best tracks of the week. Remember, all these tracks are linked down below, so you can check them out for yourself, along with all the ones I just mentioned, of course. We have Tenet, this brand new track, soundtrack single from Travis Scott, where I think he embarks on a musical adventure as far as composition that we've heard him do before, the driving, linear build, the cinematic build, the epicness, the grandness of it. But now he's almost on like an 80s analog synthwave trip on this one. Like it's a big aesthetic switch up, but it's kind of the same Travis that we know and love. It's not too bad. It's not bad. We also have Open Mike Eagle teaming up with Kari Faux on a bucciarati. And God, it is a wonderful hip house banger with some cool jazzy transitions. Love it. I think it's one of his best singles in a long time. We have a Mariah Carey Rarities Collection coming out soon. And there's this wonderful song on there that she has seen fit to tease with, featuring Lauryn Hill, Save the Day. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Lauryn's input is wonderful. Mariah's vocals sound great. My one major issue with it is that it sounds like almost like three songs on top of each other. And that's also because, you know, there are elements of it that, you know, reference back to Fuji's strumming my pain with his fingers, you know, that shit. So, you know, it's an interpolation. It's there and it works, you know, and it sounds great. And there's just so many layers of instrumentation on this thing. It sounds like a jam in a way, honestly. It sounds like a bit of a jam, but it still kicks ass, and I'm loving it. It's for the old heads. Not Shy, brand new banger single from ITZY. God, this is a good K-pop single, man. This is so tightly wound, so many different transitions and sections, great energy, awesome vocal charisma as well. Liking what ITZY is bringing to the table. Liking it more and more and more the more I hear it. We also have two tracks from Father John Misty, 2S and 2R, both of which are dreary, somber, very grand and spacious ballads where he's really kind of beckoning vocally. It's just that wonderful, pure comedy-esque energy that you know, I loved from him several years ago. So hell yeah, keep it coming, I suppose. We also have this brand new track from Deftones, new album on the way. Ohms is the title of this new single. And liking how almost sludgy and stoner some of the guitar riffs are on this track. They go pretty hard. But still those thick, almost navel gazing kind of guitar tones and layers that we've come to expect from them over the years are still there in spades. And Chino's vocals kick ass. Is it the most novel song they've ever done? Not necessarily, but after all these years and considering like that portion of their discography that was just like overproduced to death, it's cool to hear them going back to something that sounds a bit more natural, a bit more dynamic and texturally gratifying. So I'm liking it. I'm fucking with it. We also have Lil Texas and Danny L. Harle coming through with this track Dreaming, which is an insane, bassy, disorienting banger with elements of gabber and happy hardcore and nightcore. Like, it is some of the most insane dance music I think I've heard in a long time. Like, my God. And the PC music elements are woven in there as well. Bass. Like, you have to hear it to believe it. It's fucking insane. If you listen to one song that I've recommended to you in this episode, be it this one, because this is just fucking nuts. Carly Rae Jepsen, the Canadian queen of pop, has come through with 2 bonus tracks for her album Emotion. So 2 Emotion era bonus tracks. Never Get to Hold You and Love Again. Both are great. Love Again, I would say I prefer to Never Get to Hold You, but both songs I think are greater than some tracks that were from the original track list. You know, so it's a pretty incredible pair of tunes here from Carly, and they kick ass. They reference back to the 80s, but very tastefully. Good vocal performances, catchy hooks, like so goddamn sweet, so goddamn wonderful, so punchy, and awesome. We have a Bang Bang, Chief Keef. Mike Will Made It, coming through with a very dumb banger where Chief Keef is just lyrically riffing for 4 minutes. It's got kind of a, nice, mindless energy to it that I get kind of whipped up in. I'm digging it. And we also have Chai teaming up with Hinds for this incredible little United Girls Rock and Roll Club single. Kind of cool that these 2 bands are kind of coming together and I guess overcoming cultural divides to create this very cute left field, punky, lo-fi-y, indie-y rock single with a lot of character and a lot of heart and a lot of sweetness. It's actually like it's cute. It's cute as fuck. It's just endearing. It's so endearing. It's painfully endearing. It's so endearing I want to die. And when I die, it will be a good death. It will be a good, happy, endearing death that this song has brought me. And yeah, that's all I can say. I'm just loving the energy. I'm loving how sweet and cute and lovable the vocals are. And it's just got a great, I keep saying sweet, but it's got a nice, sweet, collaborative energy to it. It just seems like the song is born out of a mutual love for one another as artists, and I think some great ideas came out of this song as a result of that. So, just sounds nice. It sounds nice. Sounds like people being nice to each other. Sounds like people being really nice to each other. We also have this new track from Carcass over here, Mellow Death Meddlers Extraordinaire. Have a new, somewhat miniature project on the way, but The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue is no tiny-ass track. Like, it is a mellow death banger with some insane solos and great riffs and fantastic driving energy. Try it out. Check it out. It's good. And we also have Angel Olsen, who, the last track from this Whole New Mess project, I was not vibing with at all. However, this one, Waving Smiling, is quite stunning. Still bare, just vocals, guitar. She's really stripping it back for this new release, it seems. And on this particular instance, it's really kind of working out in her favor. Vocally, I would say it's quite chilling. We also have Oh Yeah. I believe this is our final track for this episode. We have Oh Yeah from none other than A.G. Cook, who has seen fit to release some post 2.5 hour album singles. I don't know what exactly made these tracks not worth putting on the record, but whatever. Still, I do like that this song kind of embodies some usual PC music aesthetics, the hyper synthetics, the auto-tune, but then at its core, the track also feels like a semi-acoustic, jangly pop rock 90s radio tune with like very whiny vocals and an anthemic chorus. I actually like it quite a bit. I think it's a cool clash of songwriting styles and aesthetics that not everyone might like or appreciate, but I do. No, I do, certainly. And again, that has been the weekly track roundup, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've got some good recommendations out of this video. Remember, everything I talked about linked down below so you can check it out for yourself. And I will see you guys in the next one. Anthony Fantano, Tracks of Forever.